Good evening, everyone. This is Kosala, also known as Marventus. Welcome back to Marv TV, and we are once again in the beautiful world of Skyrim. Now, we are in the first dungeon that you will encounter, the Bleak Falls Temple, which I have intentionally avoided showing, because I've cleaned it out now and come to the end of the dungeon. This is the final room, and I didn't want to have any spoilers, because this is a cool dungeon, so I just skipped it all. This video is about skills and leveling up and whatnot else. So we covered the equipping of items last time by going into your inventory and then either left clicking or right clicking the items you want. Now I've decided to go heavy on the magic. I started out going heavy on stealth and thievery and whatnot, and actually got a little bit bored of that, so moved to my trusty magic version. Now, magic works the same way. You left click or right click to pick up or to equip your spells, which you can have one in each hand or even the same one in both hands, depending on how you have talented up, which I will get into in just a second. One thing I did notice is you can accumulate a huge amount of spells, but you can only specialize in one family tree, and I will show you why later on. It's not exactly set that way, but you will need to pick a family tree that you are happy with, and I've decided to go with destruction. But you do have a lot of leveling up points to distribute over the course of your character's life, but in the beginning you'll want to specialize a little bit. So I have equipped restoration onto my right mouse button and then flames onto my left mouse button. And I have just now accumulated enough points to level up. So when you level up, you go back to your tab menu, and if you look up at the top there it is, leveling up. You look to the heavens, and there you can start picking how you want to and what you want to level up in. So the first thing you need to do at every level up is pick whether you're going to increase your magicka, your health, or your stamina. Your magicka is basically your mana pool in the bottom left hand side of the corner that is used up when you cast spells. So really the more of that the merrier if you're a magic user. So I'm going to continue. I picked health on my first level up, and I'm going to pick magicka now on my second one. And I'm probably going to alternate between the two, because survivability is reasonably important as a mage, because you will get hit quite a bit. And now you come to all of these constellations, and these constellations represent absolutely everything that you can earn and level up in the game. As you can see, there are tons. Now the majority of these things will actually level up on their own simply by using them. So you will gain higher and higher skills in these different variants simply by using these variants. And you can choose to manually level up areas that are particularly interesting to you. So for example, in my last level up, I decided to get one level in Novice Destruction, which gives me it allows me to cast spells for half magicka, which is really pretty damn excellent, because your magicka will run out. So I'm going to continue to level this up, and as you can see, you can get a very large variety of stuff. So you've got dual casting possibilities there, where you equip the same spell in both hands and therefore cast a more intense version of the spell. Alternatively, you have different augmented spells that you can choose to add on later on, and it just keeps going up the tree until you come to its max level, and then you can move on to another tree, or you can stop whenever you want. I haven't really decided exactly how I'm going to do this. I think I'll probably level up destruction quite a bit before I move on to anything else. But I love the leveling concept. It's absolutely great. It has such a massive amount of variety that it would be unfeasible for you to actually add points into all of these different areas. So it is actually quite good that you will level up in these skills as you just continue to play the game. So the more you use one-handed weapons, the more one-handed skill will level up over time. The more you get hit, the more your armor will level up over time, and so on and so forth. You don't really need to actively level up all of these things. They will passively level up as you continue to play the game, which is a tremendously wonderful way of managing how characters level in an RPG, because it mimics pretty much what you would do in real life, which is pretty excellent. And this has always been a good thing about the Elder Scrolls games. The leveling up experience, the character building experience has always been absolutely top notch. So let's add another perk here. Hit the, what do I hit? Do I hit E perks to increase destruction level 24, or am I already maxed out in that? Curious, I actually can't increase that any further. So I've already got novice. I could have sworn that it was possible to increase that several more levels, but I guess I was mistaken. Okay, off we go to dual casting destruction. Now I'm not currently dual casting. I've got healing set up in one, but I actually don't need for it to be that way, so I could technically just dual cast that. Questions. Or do I save it? There is also the possibility of saving it, because here, when you look at one of the spell descriptions, it tells you how much you have and how much you need. So getting this requires 20 in destruction points, and I've got 24. And this one right over here, whoops, went off to the wrong tree there. Augmented flames, that requires 30. I could just as well wait and get both my points in augmented flames, which is probably what I'm going to do. So I'm going to save this perk instead of spending it. So there you have it. Another way to try to level up is to actually not level up and save it until you have something you actually want. So I'm going to tab out of this, and I am now going to show in this video the way out of this dungeon as I run through it, simply because to give you an idea of the level of wonderful ambience they put into the game. Just take a look at this final chamber. I mean, it's a serious final chamber. It's a final chamber of some amazingness. The fog effects, the lighting effects, and the texturing in this dungeon have been absolutely amazing. Get a load of that waterfall. Gotta love that. I also picked up a companion in the first village I ran into, because as a mage I don't pack a big wallop right now at low level, so I decided I'd get some help. It was actually quite nice that you could recruit people by doing quests for them and doing them favors. It was absolutely excellent. So here we are running out of the dungeon, and just keep an eye out on the amazing visuals and atmospheric effects. Ooh, fire. Real fire effects that exist in the game. The cobwebs also look absolutely bitchin'. I mean, look at that. It looks like an actual real cobweb. Very nice. It even sways in the wind. And this was a bit of a winding dungeon to get around, but it eventually wind up being herded in linear sort of fashion, so you can't get completely lost. Here's another nice thing you can keep an eye out for: environmental effects. You check out the little glowy purpley thing at the on the ground there. That's actually fuel, so you can set it alight in case you have mobs running at you from there. So that's actually quite cool. You can use the environment, which is a very, very nice addition. And away we go through the winding catacombs. The winding catacombs of this temple. There were undead to fight here, there were humans to fight here, bandits, and you come here specifically for a quest, which I will not tell you about, because it's a fun lead up to the quest, and it's a fun job of just finding the Black Falls Temple. Really, it's high up in a mountain, and I'll show you when I pop outside what wonderful difference in atmospheric effects really exist in this game. Because here you've got this bleak, damp, indoorsy thing going, and then the moment you exit the temple, you've got this completely different windswept mountain thing. And here we've got a bit of a clearing inside the temple. You can hear the water running. The music in the game, by the way, is absolutely top-notch as well. Birds flying overhead. No intelligent way to climb your way out of that, but you could actually technically have fallen through that if you found that top area at some point and shortcutted your way to the end of the dungeon, which would have been pretty freaking hilarious, and actually may have even been a bit of a problematic thing. But it would be fun to even try that at some point and see if it's possible to find that overhead thing. That didn't occur to me until just now. And here you've got a little opening looking down there. Out we go, and our trusty follower is, I hope, following. Yes, indeed he is. That particular dude, Feindal, is excellent with the bow, so it was actually quite useful finding him. And in we go through winding tunnels and more watery ways, and out the main doors. This was a reasonable sized dungeon. It wasn't small, it wasn't large. It took about 30 minutes to clear it, I think, from start to finish. So a properly sized dungeon that wasn't unpleasant to run through. And an excellent introductory dungeon gives you an introduction to all the environmental details, the character, and lots of other things. And here's another thing I would like to suggest you do: save often. There is quite a lot of auto-saving going on, but you do want to save often, especially in the outdoors world, if you're tracking around and spending a lot of time, because you will eventually wind up getting killed by something, and then your last save will have been literally miles away. So always save often. Where's our dude? There he is. He didn't fall victim to anything yet. The things don't respawn in dungeons, which is interesting. And I'm not completely sure what I think about that. I guess it is completely illogical for things to respawn quickly because this is a single-player game. So it's good that it hasn't respawned this fast, but will it never respawn is the question. And I'm thinking it'll probably never respawn, because once you've cleared an area, it shows up on the map as being cleared, so I would imagine you can come back whenever and run through the empty space as much as you like. So, yeah, I'll have to think about that a little bit. This stuff doesn't have much in the way of replayability value, which is why you've got why the game itself is so huge to start with. So I don't think that there'll be any major point in coming back to a place you've already cleared. But well, I have to think about that and see. Now we are approaching the front entrance of the Bleak Falls Temple, which was indeed very bleak interior indeed. But look at the amount of detail, the vines on the ground, the stuff running around, the dust floating around the place. It's just an amazing amount of detail that has been put into the game and into the environments to make it very lifelike and realistic. And here we've got a campfire. Look at the snow being pulled off the rocks there as the wind blows through them and into the space up there. That's just absolutely marvelous. Not to mention the lighting effects, which are just epic. And here we are heading outside from the Bleak Falls Temple, and voila, into the mountainside we have arrived. Check it out. Wind blowing, snow, wind. Just looking at it makes you chilled out. And yes, there we are, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, gamers of all kinds. Right, yeah, the first little introduction to leveling up and augmenting and improving and increasing your character. Which is, I have to say, a truly wonderful experience in Skyrim. I'm looking forward to bringing you more videos. As always, subscribe if you want to stay completely up to date, or if you don't want to subscribe in YouTube, you can also subscribe to the Facebook channel or the Google Plus page, of course, any which way that you prefer, and like, dislike, and comment as always, because that's what we good YouTubers do. Have a lovely weekend. Ta-ta for now.